Hello, Dominic here from the Bournemouth Writing Festival, welcoming you to another chat with some of our writing community. Now, every Monday evening, I'm hoping to publish a new video on YouTube. So if you'd like to be notified in your inbox, then hit subscribe, which is down there somewhere. I see other YouTubers doing and everything. So anyway, do press subscribe there. And I think every time a new video is uploaded, you get a notification. So this series is having a chat with some of the people that I've met throughout the year at the Writing Festival or at some of our networking events. And today's guest is Phoenix Ford, who is a massive supporter of everything we do at the Writing Festival. Phoenix comes along to our networking events, comes to the Writing Festival, and even performed at the Writing Home event at this year's Writing Festival. And he was brilliant, which is why I really wanted to have a chat. So hello, Phoenix, welcome.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Phoenix. I'm from Bournemouth. Um, Thanks for letting me be here today.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for joining. So Phoenix, tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you write and why.
Um, I'm Phoenix. I do. I wrote when I was a kid at school, and I always loved writing poetry, short stories. Um, then things cropped up with other things, so I put that self behind, and then just but when it was COVID, I started thinking about I'm bored. I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. And so I decided to start writing again. And it just went from there.
And COVID was such a leveler for all of us, wasn't it? Because you're right, it was boring and there was lots of time to fill. And I actually wrote two of my books during COVID. So it was a time where creativity could foster. So maybe tell us a little bit about, during COVID, what was going through your mind? What kind of things did you want to write? I know you mentioned poetry, but what kind of themes maybe and where that led you?
Um, well, when I was COVID, I was writing poems about mental health, um, themes, anything to do with LGBT. Um, I just thought, right, I'm bored right now. It's just I can't have a cycle repeating doing nothing, and I just thought, right, I'm gonna focus on writing, keep my mind active.
Yeah. And after COVID, I suppose when everything started to come up and you could go and meet people again, and you've been fantastic because not only do you come to our networking events, you go to the writers' havers, and when whenever there's a poetry event, you kind of involved and being there. So tell me, what does the community mean for you in Bournemouth?
Community in Bournemouth is getting together with people who also write, and it's basically making new friendships and new people to engage with who also write, not just poetry, also stories. And when I first heard about the Bournemouth Writing Festival from last year, I thought, right, I'll go to this and meet new people, get inspired and all that.
And you really have jumped in 2 feet, into the deep end because I see you everywhere and it's great and it's fantastic that you're going to the writers' havens and you're at these poetry events. So, has not just the writing festival, but I suppose tell the people watching this about Bournemouth and why you think this has happened, why there's such a community of writers.
Well, there's community writers because we live in a town where authors like Mary Shelley, um, Robert Stevenson, Jake, the Tolkien, and all other inspirations of authors before our time. Um, for me, it's like going out, feeling the culture, the vibes, the arts and stuff is what keeps us in Bournemouth going.
And there seems to be a growing number of events, maybe because I wasn't particularly in the scene before the writing festival, but now I'm noticing there's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff happening in Poole. There's loads of, Black Cherry in Boston, which unfortunately is going to be shutting. But there seems to be a lot of events and opportunities, I should say, where writers can express themselves.
Yeah, because with me going to as I'm part of the outsiders, it's given me a chance to meet other people like me who have suffered through poverty or have suffered through mental health or any other things that other people have, like alcohol, rehabilitation and stuff like that. But it's nice to have a community that I can spend time with, write with, and just enjoy the moment. And also with going to the writing havens and in the libraries is great because you get different themes on things and you makes your mind change
Mm.
and
And
think more about.
you mentioned the Outsiders. So just for those people who might not know, the Outsiders is the Outsiders Project. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do you just want to explain to the people watching what the Outsiders Project is and maybe how you got involved?
Yeah, I can do that. The Outsiders Project is a a writing sort of like a writing haven, really, and it's for people who have um and we meet there every Tuesday evening, 6 till 8. Or if you couldn't get to that, you got one on a Thursday at 3 till 5, and it's held at the old schoolhouse in Boscombe. And we just meet there. Get a we go in sort of like a room where you got the person who's holding the um workshop, and all we do is thinking of words that beginning with M or L, or then we go into a prompt where we have like a 5-10 minute free write, and then we go on to other tasks, and then we just, if we have time, we go around whatever we've written, and from the prompt um we just share it with each other.
And I can't remember that whether during the Writing Home event or the Sunday night finale at the festival, whether you were representing the Outsiders Project or not. But when you went on stage, it was almost like a different phoenix walking on stage there. You were so confident. You were, your performance was brilliant. It was inspiring. It was a great poem that you recited. So maybe kind of, how do you feel like when you go on stage you turn into a different person, or do you just have a level of confidence? Like what goes through your mind when you're about to walk onto that stage and deliver your words?
Well, I started going to like poetry events, like when I heard about them was Bournemouth to start with, and I just read out poems with them when they held them, and then I went to the platform, which was hosted by Abby G, and I performed some of my poetry there. It just it gave me the boost of confidence just to read out my work with different people. And I think that when I was with the word makers at the writing festival event, I've kind of I knew this is to be a chance for me to just deliver something and show my work to people that in the audience.
Mm.
And I thought, well, sometimes I start off nervous, but when I just deliver my piece, I'm just like in my zone, you see. And then afterwards, I like when I'm off, I need to breathe.
You're right. You're in your zone of genius, and maybe that practice and experience that you're doing in those other
Yeah.
places is helping you, which is fantastic. So, tell
Mhm.
me, you mentioned some of the challenges that you faced, particularly over COVID. So, where would you see, where do you see the challenges and the successes that you've had in your writing?
With when I was in COVID, I did like struggle with my mental health, and the way I had to cope was try and do things that I enjoy, like my reading, my writing, and I just thought when I write, it gives me the chance to put my feelings down on paper and express myself really. And then I just continued doing that since the lockdown stopped. So just wanted to share the pieces of work I've written um, to other when I go to like the platform or the Bournemouth or any other event that's just around the corners for me.
And writing is a very therapeutic exercise, isn't it? And so many writers that I meet, particularly when they're writing about their past, or a, they're writing a character who's thinking about the past, but obviously it's all, a lot of it's anchored to our own experiences, and they
Mm.
get quite deep into their writing when they're in the zone of that character, and really kind of bring out a lot of deep feelings, deeply held um, things which kind of buried away. And writing helps us to get those things out, whether it's by accident or by purpose. And that helps
Mm.
us develop as a person as well.
Yeah.
So where do you see your writing and yourself going? Like, where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you want your writing to go to?
Well, I'm thinking of continuing writing and hopefully one day I can publish them in a book. Um, I haven't really thought of it that far at the moment, but that's where I want to go in the future.
So at the moment, you're writing for joy, you're writing because you like it, and you get to
Mm.
go to all of these different places and perform your words, and people listen and interact and react to the words you say.
Yeah, because tomorrow I'm performing at the Boscombe Arts Depot and I'm performing one of my pieces that on the theme home. And I've been rehearsing, dress rehearsing, and tomorrow's the big day for the lock-in. And it's my first time doing one of the Outsiders project lock-ins. So I'm kind of like, it's a new experience. It's gonna put me in more confidence to perform, and hopefully people will enjoy what I've I've written on the day.
I'm sure they will, and wishing you tons and tons of luck and good wishes for the big performance tomorrow. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to be there, but
It's fine.
and, and just to finish, Phoenix. So, what other stuff do you do besides writing?
Um, I besides writing, I do play video games like RPGs. It's just my escape from reality, really. When I'm not doing that, I'm reading, cooking, baking, walking, and listen to music just to it's the other things that, and also I do my art, which I also enjoy doing. And hopefully, when I get my pieces together and have an insight, I might like do some drawings for with them.
That sounds wonderful. I mean, very crafty, very arty, brilliant. Thank you so much, Phoenix, for joining me today. It's been fantastic talking to you, and keep
You're
going.
welcome.
Looking forward to hearing about what happens tomorrow night at the Lock-In. I'm sure it's going to be fabulous. If the Sunday night finale performance is anything to go by, and look forward to seeing you at all the sorts of different events that are happening across Bournemouth. So thank you, Phoenix. So if you see Phoenix,
Yeah.
go along and say hi.
Bye.
Thank you, and to everybody else, thank you for joining us today on the latest episode of just chatting to our local writing community, and look forward to seeing you next Monday evening at 6 o'clock. Take care.